Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to you lovely folks joining me here nice and early over at Marvel Snap Zone. Welcome back for another daily deck highlight segment, taking a look at the kind of decks you're going to want to be exploring if you're laddering up inside of hit card battler Marvel Snap. Today, we're looking at a bit of a funky crossroads of a deck, kind of highlighting some factors that our new players might be experiencing very soon. You're going to be moving into Pool 2. A lot of you are actually kind of knocking on the door of Pool 2 of cards. Some of you are already there, in fact, after 1 week of play, which means you're going to start unlocking things that are going to enable new archetypes for you, and you're going to also start unlocking a number of cards that are going to start to be build-arounds for future archetypes in some kind of way. So today's submission actually came to me by email, which was kind of cool. Kind of showcases a deck that's primarily built out of Pool 1, contains very few Pool 2 cards to kind of show you how this archetype evolves, and also gets to use the current season Battle Pass card to its best advantage as well, and show you some of the power that Miles Morales has. So, as always, folks, if you enjoy this kind of content, please do consider chucking us a subscription. We would love to see you again for more content here on YouTube. Press that subscribe button for me, hit the bell, and keep notifications turned on. Alternatively, you can go and check out the article version of this deck in the description box down below as well if you want to go see it in written form and export the deck list for yourself from our website over at Marvel Snap Zone. Last but not least, if you want to see your decks, your ideas featured in a community deck highlight, make sure to come and join us in our Marvel Snap Zone Discord server. You can grab that down below as well. Alternatively, just go and build it on the website as I go through the community pool of decks every single day and pick out something that I like to showcase. So, let's take a look at one of the more unique mechanics in Marvel Snap that some people don't really get to abuse as much as they might like, in the form of movement. Now, what is movement trying to do? Movement is trying to abuse the fact that you have 3 locations you're trying to win over the course of the game, and I want to be able to shuffle my stuff from one place to another to gain as much value as I possibly can, which is a very unique way of playing the game that not a lot of other decks get to explore. There are a number of very sweet payoffs for this. The most interesting one, I think, is the current Season Pass card in the form of Miles Morales, Spider-Man. 5 power unit here for 4 cost normally, but if something moved last turn, it only costs 1, which makes it a very good on-rate card, and this is definitely the best deck to explore what Miles can do. What other payoffs do we have? Well, the things that reward us for moving cards. We have access to Vulture every single time that it moves. 5 extra power, really big stat stick. We get access to Craven. Every time you move something to it, it will gain 2 additional power. Fantastic. Multiple Man. Every time it moves, you add a copy of itself back to the previous location it was in before. Another great payoff for shuffling stuff around. Yeah, really good stuff in those regards. Those are kind of your main payoffs to that effect. So what does the rest of the deck contain? Well, it focuses on ways to move stuff and ways to buff up some of those things that you're moving. So, we take a look at Iron Fist, for example, a 1-drop card here that will move the next card you play 1 location to the left after it is revealed. NIGHTCRAWLER here moves itself, really flexible and very good early pressure. You'll see a lot of NIGHTCRAWLER in Pool 1 and Pool 2. Forge here, very powerful interaction with Multiple Man. You want to be playing this out and buffing that Multiple Man up so that when you move it around, it is going to create bigger copies of itself. So very powerful synergy there between those. We have access to CLOAK here that allows both players to move cards to the location you play it on the next turn. So you can just move everything to your own accord, which is kind of fantastic. Doctor Strange here going to pull the highest powered thing into the location it's at. Again, buffing up Multiple Man or Vulture means this will always target those things. That is exactly what you're looking for in this deck. And of course, we have Hulkbuster. Plays very well with Multiple Man as well. Not bad with NIGHTCRAWLER and stuff either, but merging with cards lets you have more space to play around with and just creates a bigger unit for you to move around. It's really cool and very strong in this deck as well. Last but not least, we have the big electric slide to finish the game. The finisher of the move archetype is Heimdall, which will move everything else over 1 location to the left, meaning you get 1 big final powerful push of all your things on the final turn of the game. Move is a fan favorite archetype. It's a little hard to play, takes a bit of getting used to. Not one I've played a ton either, so this might be kind of embarrassing. But it's super exciting for people that are getting into the game because a lot of the base is inside of Pool 1. There are very few tools in this deck. I think there are 3 cards from Pool 2 total in this list, which means it's going to be great for you as you head into Pool 2. And then there are actually more toys for this deck in Pool 3 as well, which means you just have stuff to look forward to if you are playing the move archetype. So, with all that said and done, let's jam some games with Pool 2movement and see how this deck goes. As always, folks, of course, I'm going to be slapping my way against many Pool 3 decks just because I do have a complete collection. So if you see plenty of cards that you're not familiar with, don't panic. You probably won't be playing against them if you pick this deck up yourself. So unfortunately, no early play for us here, but Comatage, not a bad one in theory for a deck like this. The Space Throne, however, a little dodgier. Do we just tempo Cloak? Feels kind of crap. I think I would rather try and just go for a big Vulture here. Space Throne, a little dodge. Alright, so let's play out Vulture into Atlantis. Opponent looks to be on... looks to be on some kind of Patriot before the rock ends up in my Space Throne. Not exactly what we were looking for. Okay. Well, now if I Hulkbuster in Atlantis, I have to worry about getting it stuck to a rock, which is not really what I want. I guess I can pull some stuff out and pull it over with the old Doctor Strange. Heimdall's going to slide at the end, so I'm not sure if that's something I want to do. This is really rough. Fairly sure we should probably be retreating here, but that doesn't make for a particularly good video, so let's try and do the thing, I suppose. Panic mode engaged. Don't really know where stuff is supposed to be going here. So we will pull a Vulture on over. Makes it nice and chunky. So I guess we're supposed to like okay, so let's take a bit of a gamble. Let's try and Hulkbuster this rock. Because if we can Hulkbuster this one, hopefully we can slide it across with Heimdall and it'll have some power. So I can actually do this, right? I can go Forge into Hulkbuster, and I'll still have space for Heimdall. Ugh, this has been a dodgy game. Goes to show you some of the interesting complexities Move finds itself with. It has some locations that aren't particularly beneficial to it. Okay, I think we hit the right rock. Can we slide to get enough points here? I'm not sure. Okay, Onslaught unfortunately is definitely going to take it away from us. Okay, the theory was sound. And I think it kind of shows some of the thought processes you have to go through playing Move there. So I'm not going to remove this one and make myself look better than I am. That was, obviously, I kind of said it at the time. I think you should probably have retreated when those locations went so south, but I kind of wanted to showcase a little bit more of the thought process. So, not the best start for Pool 2movement, at least not in my hands. Let's see if we can do slightly better with no Space Throne ruining our day. Again, no early play here, unfortunately. Might be just a tempo Cloak here, if nothing else. Yeah, I think we're going to tempo Cloak this time because we're going to be looking to go 3... Vulture on 3, Hulkbuster on 4, probably like Strange plus something else on 5. So we're going to Cloak into the unknown. I don't really want to put it into Necrosha if I can help it. Ugh. This has been pretty rubbish. Okay, so I definitely made a mistake here, right? Because I have to cloak elsewhere so the Vulture is guaranteed to get the Hulkbuster. Oh, this deck takes some practice. Okay. Guess we take our 50-50 then, in which case. Do we? Do we take our 50-50, or do we just try and push additional stats here? I think we actually just might play in a bit of a vanilla game here, to be completely honest. Alternatively, we can Strange Cloak out, which would guarantee us a Hulkbuster, but then we have no real way of moving stuff afterwards. Interesting. Gonna take my 50-50, I think. Again, you can tell I've not played a lot of move whatsoever. This deck is complicated. A lot of moving pieces, a lot of very awkward locations. That makes it very rewarding when you do get it right. Definitely one I should play with more, though, to be completely honest. It's just doing something very unique. Okay, multiple man, not all that good for us here, unfortunately. So let us Strange Vulture out. So I guess we do it this way, right? We go Craven Strange and Strange Vulture mid. Opponent will debris, spray some rocks all over the place. Okay. So the slide is a little awkward here, but I think we have to slide. Oh, we can't, right? If we slide, the Vulture doesn't move. Ugh. I guess it's just vision and try and put the most stats here as we can on the side. I think we've got an awful lot else going for us. Wow, not enough. Wasp here on the end, just too many stats. Yeah, you could definitely see some of the problems Move has as an archetype. One of them is me, because I'm definitely not playing this completely optimally. Let's see if we can at least take the third one with this deck and hopefully do the cool thing and show it off a little bit better. We've been disrupted by a lot of Patriots so far, trucking a lot of rocks in our way and some awkward locations. Okay, so we actually have a pretty reasonable start this time. We get to do the multiple man into Doctor Strange curve, which is one of the more powerful things Move can do. If we draw a Hulkbuster, it gets even better. So let us go multiple man on the side here, because we're going to want to have a copy on the right as much as we can for Heimdall later to make another one when it slides back over. We unfortunately can't play Strange in the Dark Dimension, though, as we won't be able to pull a multiple man straight away. So we will have to play it. The Superflow keeps punishing us here. We'll have to play it off on the side here. Let us do that. Yank away a multiple man. Okay, so we can juice up Vulture a little bit here and make it a 5. Is there much a reason to? I don't think so. I think for now I'm just going to establish some stats inside the Dark Dimension, try and challenge this location. Opponent will leech. Ugh. Okay. So no additional text on all of our favourite goodies. So we can just play Vision here, or we can stack things up nice and high in case we draw Heimdall on the final turn of the game. Forge having no ability makes that way less appealing, though, because, you know, there's no buff on the Hulkbuster that we're putting down. which would normally be pretty good. Attaching a buffed Hulkbuster to Multiple Man would be great if we could draw Heimdall late. I think we are just playing Vision here. Sadly, it's not going to be able to move, so I guess I'm just challenging the lane that's most likely to see a Professor X, I suppose? Bit of a rough one. Doc Doom, okay. Oh, we drew the Heimdall too. Okay, well, let's give it a shake. Can we do a little bit of sliding to wrap this one up? When Odin there, Doc Doom, okay. The leech doesn't really matter anymore, but the Doc Doom is a chunk more stats. Okay, so we do take the Super Flow, courtesy of Multiple Man. However, we are a little short in the middle. No dice. No dice. A pretty bad demonstration of this one, all in all, sadly. There can't always be rockets. It's the way that these deck highlights go sometimes. And I'm definitely not very experienced with movement. But as you can kind of see, if this is a deck that appeals to you, there's a lot of moving pieces. It's basically a really large puzzle. And that can make it a fun one to explore. So by all means, show me what you can do with it. Show me how it's supposed to be played properly. Because clearly I'm missing a trick with this one. So no dice for me with Paul Toothman. But I look forward to seeing you guys explore it and see what you can do with a bit of practice. If you've been enjoying the video so far, these kind of deck highlights, please, again, by all means, consider chucking a subscription. Would be very, very cool to see you again in the future. Alternatively, go and check out our stuff over at Marvel Snap Zone and get yourself a deck guide and or deck list to your own preferences. Until next time, folks, I've been HowlingMines, you've been amazing, and I will see you again sometime soon. Have a good one.